I just got a message from a good friend of mine, one of my white brothers in the activist movement with me. I'm going to read the email. I won't expose his name, but he also sent me a link. But it's important, and I'm so happy that he noticed this. He said the following: Egberto, this really pisses me off at CNN and the mainstream media. What's an old white guy to do to try to counter this crap? I guess I can at least spread the word by forwarding articles like this, although I cringe at the thought that this action, forwarding, will in itself increase the friction and instability of the political environment. To my white brother, I'm going to tell you, we have to create or maintain this instability until we fix all the things. One of the reasons you don't see me going negative against my right-wing brothers and sisters, but at the political establishment and at the politicians themselves, and you don't see me being high and mighty like progressives are the best thing since apple pie, they are so pure, is because I know the truth. The reality is all people, right or left, they share the same types of prejudices. Well, what my brother sent me was this article. He said, you need to read this particular article. It's a Intercept article written by Natasha Leonard. Thank you, Natasha. It is titled, Trump Attacked the Women of Color Who Led the Push for Impeachment, then CNN Erased Them. As you know, there are 5 women who wrote an article. They're from districts that are marginal, and they finally came out in support of impeaching the president, and they are now called the badasses by CNN. Many people who had specific reasons for coming out against Trump, and they took a hit for it, not only a minor hit, but their lives were put in danger because they said the president did enough things to be impeached. These women who call themselves now the badasses, okay? CNN had a great report on the badasses. And what was hurtful? And first, let me tell you who the badasses are. First of all, these are the badasses: Rashida Tlaib, Ilhan Omar, Ayanna Pressley, AOC, Representative Al Green, who was the first person to come to actually write up articles of impeachment. I also did an interview with the congressman who gave the reasons why articles of impeachment was long overdue. Just that Democrats have always been timid in doing what's right. And of course, there is Representative Walters, who had all the fixes on Donald Trump long time ago and never let up. These are the people that have been pushing the possibility of impeachment for a long time. But who became the badasses? These women became the badasses for writing an article inside of the New York Times. Now, what is interesting, CNN decided to honor these women. But I want to read you a paragraph within Natasha Leonard's piece because it tells you all about the invisibility of people of color. It tells you all about when folks decide to make people invisible. Even progressives make black folk, Latino folks, and others invisible. And let me explain. This is Jake Tapper. Let me read what she wrote. On the air, CNN host Jake Tapper, following up on a Trump campaign advisor's remarks, questioned whether too early advocates for impeachment Tlaib and Representative Al Green, Democrat of Texas, who is black, undermined the seriousness of the pursuit. Do those members of your party, Tapper asked Representative Elissa Slotkin, Democrat of Michigan, one of the badasses on this Sunday show, did he undermine the seriousness with which you and other colleagues of yours want to proceed? Slotkin said she couldn't speak for others and returned to her talking points. But sadly, why didn't this badass representative simply say, no, they just got it before we did. They were just braver than we were to come out that early to realize that this is a president that should be impeached. I mean, talking about invisible, and it's not only about invisible, but attacking the people who saw that this was a president that should be impeached way long time ago, attacking them for lack of seriousness. Or are you kidding me? So you understand why I tell my brothers and my sisters, I'm talking about everybody that I hang with in the activist community, forget about Democrats, forget about Republicans, start thinking people. Because you know what? The same ills that are on the right where people think, oh, these folks are racist or whatever, is the same thing you find within the progressive space. Let me tell you folks, I do know that. I go to many conferences where the same thing happens. Somebody comes up with an idea. If it's an idea that came up with a white person within the establishment, people listen to it and people have discussions about it. You bring the idea as a person of color. If you don't have a white wing person, you are almost invisible. Again, somebody like me, when I'm made invisible, I speak up and you're not going to make me invisible. But just think about the effort that you constantly have to go through. Oh, we are supposed to support all these progressive policies as long as we don't make certain people uncomfortable. I love the idea that right now we like to hold back policies that help different groups of people because we have to somehow protect the comfort of a certain set of people. So we don't talk about certain issues. We don't talk about reparations. We don't talk about certain things that involve gay folk. We don't talk about certain things that involve specific women. We don't do these things because we're going to make certain people uncomfortable. When do we talk about that? Oh, it's going to happen later. No, it never happens. Thank you so kindly, my white brother who sent me this, who think he couldn't do anything about it. Just you realizing that article, just the author of that article, who is a white woman, realizing what is occurring in our space is enough. I hadn't seen the article. I just want to thank you for doing what you're doing, because you know what? It's all of us getting engaged that are going to solve all the ills. And the ills are not just on the right. The ills are not just in the middle. The ills are everywhere. And until we get it together, we won't make a change. If you want to know who the real badasses are with the impeachment of Trump, those are the people who made the even talk about Trump's impeachment something that we speak about. Al Green was the first one who released articles of impeachment. Walters is the one who came up with numbers that proved that this man should be impeached, and she had the pelotas to talk about it. And the squad, they have been out there even as the president has put crosshairs on their backs. These women come out and they write an article and they're stars. If we are going to be real progressives, let's be real.